Thank you very much for being here, everybody. Really appreciate your time. So, and anytime people come out for a business event or a convention, you guys are taking time out of your personal lives. It's the weekend, so we just got through the holidays, so I know there's probably a million things you could catch up on, but you chose to be here today, so honored that you're here, excited that you're here. Mike and I, 6 years ago, built this, and it just started out like anything, with a dream, right? He was doing fundraisers, I was doing fundraisers. Everybody in this room at some point is involved at some point with comedy. So it's not like we're trying to have you, God bless, reinvent the wheel, but we just feel like we created a system. We took everything that we couldn't stand about comedy, everything that we loved about comedy, and got rid of what we couldn't stand. We kept what we liked, and then we just build on top of that. And the reason why we have a room full of people is because you see something here too. You can chase bookers and clubs, and good luck. Good luck. I got sick of all the drama and the games and the political arena with who doesn't like who. I'm divorced. I have enough drama in my life. I don't need more when I go to the club. Okay? So we wanted to create an environment where we had friends come together and build a company. Fundraising, giving back to the community, making connections, networking, doing what's right, soul food. And he had a following and I had a following 10 years ago. And in Rhode Island, we had a meeting up at a show. Actually, Funny for Funds was started in a restroom. That's another story for another day. I was coming out of the bathroom at the North Kingstown Country Club. He was walking in, and he's like, "Hey, I got an idea. I want to run by you." And I said, "All right, right here in the men's room." And he goes, let's put each other on a show or something. We'll talk after the show." And the words out of Mike's mouth was, "I feel like we could create a monster, a fundraising company that isn't just about a mic stool and a stand, but about a system and giving back to the community." And so we plugged in together, and 6 years later, it's $5.5 million raised and branches popping up all over. But I'm going to tell you what the caveat is, the dangerous caveat. I run 2 other companies that are each #1 in their genre. I build companies. That's what I do, and I'm good at it. But I like building relationships better. And I think that's where every successful company comes. And that's why I think Mike and I have had success. There's passion behind this company. It's not about the money. It's about the impact. It's always about the impact. Nobody gives a hoot how much you know until they know how much you care. Ever hear that before? Mike and I, if people knew how much money we didn't make in the last 6 years and how much money was put into this company, what you're sitting here today, and the vision of where we're going, as I bring up Mike, is there's over 200,000 invested in this company. Over 200,000. I haven't paid myself back yet. Mike hasn't paid himself back yet. But we know we will. There's a payout on the back end. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. But if you guys get what you want, is it okay if we get what we want?
Absolutely. 100%.
But here's the caveat you need to know. The pitfall is this. When we're trying to run a company, people sometimes forget that, yeah, we're your friend, but we still need to run a company. And we need to make decisions, and it's not to attack anybody. It's just that when you run a company, you got to make some hard decisions. No one's being singled out. No, we want you all to be happy, because if you're happy, the client's happy, we get more shows, and then we're happy. So quadruple win. So as we move forward today, any changes that we're making, anything that we're doing, it's just about us winning as a team. We have to create a winning culture. I had more that I was going to say. I'll save it for another time. Okay? I had a nice little intro about the vision of the company, but the vision is this. We need to win. I need to know by the end of today how many shows you want to do a year. I need that number by the end of today, because now I know how to tailor-make my conversation to you. And contractually, we need 10 a year. That's less than 1 a month. If you do anything in life, if you want to open a Dunkin', and I gotta beg you to sell 1 coffee a month, why are you here? Right or right? But if you can do 1 a month, contractually, 10, we love you just as much as someone who does 50 a year. We don't play favorites at all. I don't care, as long as you contractually do your 10. But when you call me, I need to know that, Bill, I'm fine doing 10, great. So when I talk to you, my conversation and the words and the energy that I give you is going to be more towards 10, because I don't want to be coming at you with someone that I would use to motivate to do 50 shows, because you're going to feel like I'm coming at you. Does that concept make sense? So by the end of today, what you see, pull me aside, shoot me a text later, say, Bill, I've done the math, I can perform, I'd like to make about 30, 40,000 a year, and I know I need to do about, maybe 40, 50 shows next year. I want you to direct your conversation to me for 40 to 50 shows. I'm a 10-show person. Great, just let me know. It doesn't matter. I just need to know the number so I can direct. But do you think Bill Belichick talks to everyone the same on his team? No. And I want to be the same person for you. Just let me know what you want, and when we keep in touch, I'll know how to divert my conversation in the right way. Does that make sense? Okay. And also, there's a motto. This is the last thing I'll talk about. Okay. There's a motto that's going forward. Here's the motto that I want. Like our motto on the website is, we don't book shows, we book moments, right? And we do. How many times we cried on stage, right, with somebody? 40 cried for ALF, right? Here's the motto moving forward. I want to make up some merch. I was talking to Tim about merch. Here's the motto. For funny for funds. It's still going to be, we don't book shows, we book moments on the website, but our motto internally. One affects all. One affects all. And I looked it up, it's A-F-F-E-C-T. How did I know? Here's why. We got people going to South Carolina.
Woo!
Right? You don't think there are people in South Carolina who live in New England that are going to go to a show? And if they don't put on a good show, and they're not professional, and they don't do a pep rally right, and they don't know our system correctly, now the person flies back to New England and has no interest in doing a Funny for Fun show in the Boston area. So one person just affected you. All, but he's in your territory, Pat, or she's in your territory. Everything you do is affecting something else. Business and outside of business. So I want you to think of that. When he says we need to do training, it's not good. We don't want to be there half the time, but we have to, right? So if he's doing training, it's because one affects all. There's more pinch hit shows to go on. You make a little extra money. When you're at that show, we know Dave and Derek and anybody that's pinch hitting that you got to run, look, feel, and smell just like every other Funny for Fun's branch, so that someone goes, you know what? I want to be in the Bridgewater area, and my son has a wheelchair ramp, or out in Western Mass, or wherever, Amherst, I think that's what it was. One affects all. So as we go through this today, keep that in mind. I'm going to tell you this. You won't find two people, not in a comedy club, not in your circle of friends most of the time, that will care about you as much as Mike and I care. It's disgusting how much we care about people, to the point where we put ourselves in bad situations sometimes because we don't want to say no to people. So here's a change for 2020. We're going to learn to say no to people. Because I can't continue to take time away from my family if people aren't in a building mindset. So I need you to build at 10 shows a year, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'll change my conversation with you. I love the 50 shows a year as much as the 10th. But then there'll be some synergy, and with synergy comes success. So moving forward, one affects who? All right. Are you next?
I'm next.
All right, I'm telling you right now, what Mike and Dave are going to go through right before lunch is going to blow your mind. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here in front of you. Let's have a great 2020. Thank you, everybody.